This one's a tough one, Mayor Andy, because the community centers and arenas in our small portions of the city of Kawartha Lakes, they're like a meeting place for people. And recently, the Ops Arena was closed. Do you want to just tell me why?
Sure. Yeah, you're right. It is a tough one. Our community centers, our arenas mean a lot to our community. They've been here for 30, 40 years and more in some cases. We had a consultant come in years ago, several studies we've seen as a council that show that ice utilization in our community is going down. Our magic number for ice surfaces from the demand perspective in the Kawartha Lakes would be about 8, just under 8 ice surfaces we would be able to meet our demand. And we have 10. And, they're all aging infrastructure. They're all need a lot of money to keep them going. So we're trying to look at it, and say, should we be funding, these are taxpayers have to subsidize these. These don't pay for themselves by any means. So we're looking at it, trying to do the responsible thing. And, if we're not utilizing 10 ice surfaces, is it really fair to our taxpayers who don't utilize these facilities to be subsidizing 10 ice surfaces when 9 or 8 will do, right? And, the struggle becomes, everybody gets that when we have the conversation, the big picture conversation, everybody's on board. So, what, I understand that. But the problem becomes, we don't want to lose the community center, the arena in our community. And unfortunately, that's a tough conversation to be able to have. So council, we had put in a grant for the Ops Arena, a grant application with the Minister of Infrastructure to refurbish it. We didn't get that. It is an aging facility. It needs a lot of uptake, a lot of dollars to keep it going. And council decided it wasn't open this year. There's 3 ice surfaces, Bobcaygeon, Oakwood, and Ops, that we didn't open this year just because of the pandemic, or we didn't put ice in them. And council sort of made a decision not to open the Ops Arena again. And, it needed some money this year in our capital budget if we were going to have it ready for the fall. And the council decided to just sit on that one for now. And it was a tough decision. It kind of came out of nowhere. And, could it have been done a little differently? Yes, it probably could have had that discussion. But I think we also have to be open-minded, Vanessa. We have to be responsible with tax dollars. And, we have other needs in our community. There's people asking for indoor soccer in the winter, indoor lacrosse, skate parks, for our youth. And there's just the trend. I won't say the trend is away from hockey. I mean, hockey's our national sport and it will always be popular amongst our kids, but there's other things that our community is now interested in. Pickleball, that for some of our seniors are enjoying. So, should we be looking at some of these facilities and reutilizing them, not necessarily getting rid of them, but instead of an ice surface, can we put artificial turf in this one, for instance, and, have an indoor soccer league in the winter and have lacrosse in the winter and utilize the facility, but use it for something a little bit different than what it's been used for, and still have 8 or 9 other ice surfaces in the city, that should be able to handle. So I think we need to have those discussions. We've got a report coming back in the spring. There's talk about utilizing it. Would be a great property out at Ops for a long-term care home. Victoria Manor needs to be redone, or paramedics need a new head office. So we're looking at some facilities, but I think it's important that our community just, keep an open mind and say, what, we have a few other interests. We have a few shifting trends in the dynamic of what our community is wanting as we move forward. Things change. Needs change, wants change. We need to be able to change with them, and at the same time trying to be responsible with the tax dollars. So taking a bit of flack for that decision, and you know what, rightly so. We probably didn't have as much public consultation in that as we should have. But at the end of the day, if we can come up with another use for that facility that meets another need in our community, then hopefully people will realize in the long term it was a good decision. So I didn't mean to ramble on there, but it was one of those decisions that you kind of wonder, are we doing the right thing or are we aren't? But at the end of the day, there's lots of ice surfaces in the city. It might just mean you use another facility.
I think it's because in the community, there's all the memories and all of the special events that took place in that particular building. So it always, well, it's like when a school gets knocked down and maybe you went there as a kid and you spent a lot of time there and you got a lot of good memories. I think for a lot of people, it's more the memories and maybe some future events that they think they could have there and create more memories, right?
Absolutely. And I think way back when, when these facilities were put together, there was, the community fundraised for it. Some people guaranteed mortgages, just to sort of get financing to finish off. So it wasn't just an arena; it was a community facility that was built. And it's hard when they get old. And there was a lot of Ontario money way back when that every community
Right.
got their own arena, which was wonderful. But now that they're 40, 50 years old and, and the millions and millions of dollars to keep them operating. And if the needs are changing and the demand isn't there like it was a long time ago, is that really the smart way to, from a business perspective, to move forward? And we're just trying to look at some different options. But I totally, I do understand that. I really do. And it's a tough decision. One of our tougher decisions we'll have to make, and we're going to have to make some more tough decisions because, things are changing, and we need to be cost effective. So.